Hello, good morning and welcome to today's morning report on Friday the 17th of October with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Handtech Markets. These European markets have actually started on the positive note. They've actually gained quite considerably since the open, about 1% higher on the FTSE, 1.8% on the DAX, and the CAC 1.5% higher. It certainly looks like there is a little bit of a rebound going on, just unwinding some of that incredible selling pressure that we've seen in the last week or so. And that is certainly helping to take a little bit of the pressure off the markets. We had the downside on the Wall Street markets unwind yesterday, and that certainly brought the volatility down on the equity markets anyway. 4% on the VIX on the downside on the in the session. And the thing that I've noticed that has been interesting is that there's been a bit of a bottom forming on the oil price. On the WTI, there's been a low. It's actually formed a key one-day reversal, which I will talk about as well, and that just gives a bit of a sign that maybe that there's a bit of support coming in, and certainly if you're looking at the equity markets, that seems to be the case at the moment. The dollar had been strengthening against the forex majors, but it's just turned around slightly in the last few minutes actually. So the volatility in the FX markets continues to move around. These levels continue to be tested, and it's very difficult to see a trend going on. Certainly if you look at the dollar index, there's been incredibly volatile over the past few weeks, but just trending generally sideways, but a slight drift of dollar correction if you're going to go on the net basis. But certainly at the moment it seems to be very volatile still. In terms of the data that we're looking out for today, it could be interesting because the US data yesterday certainly had a hand in turning around the markets in the afternoon as the US session came into place with that very strong jobless claims number. So we're looking out for the housing data today, US building permits, and also the housing starts. Housing starts are expected to just climb slightly to 1 million, which is around about a 5.1% increase, and also the housing starts are meant to improve as well by 2.7%. Then further into the afternoon, we've got the University of Michigan consumer sentiment at 5 to 3, and that's just expected to slightly correct back to 84.1, but still, as you can see here, quite a positive outlook on consumer side. So yes, in all, we're having a bit of a rebound, and that takes me to my chart of the day, which is the FTSE 100. I thought I'd look at the index of UK shares, and what a rebound that we've had actually in the past sort of day, I suppose, since that sharp move down to the downside we saw yesterday mid-morning. It's been pretty solid in its recovery, and the rebound is now coming up towards a test of the first key resistance around that 6,300 mark, which was the support lows from just a few days. That old support turns into new resistance, so if it can make above that, then it'll be a very positive move, and also then push on towards that 6,400, which is the next support. So there was a bit of a sort of a 100-point band for a couple of days that is the initial resistance area that FTSE needs to test. In terms of the downside, there's not a great deal of support that it's left on the way up, but you'd certainly be thinking about just a reaction low at around that 61.30 level. But to be honest, that's so far below now that it's difficult to see that as support. There is another minor support around 62.10 as well, but there's no real interesting support until you get back to that key low that was left at 60.73. So there's quite an impressive rebound going on, and it'll be interesting to see if the FTSE can continue to hold on to it. Certainly the momentum indicators on the hourly chart are improving now. You've got some crossovers, and certainly the stochastics are rising, RSI rising, and MACD lines have crossed over as well. Interesting that you've got on this hourly chart that the RSI tends to fall over on the hourly chart around that 60 point, so it's just reaching up into 50s now, so there could be further unwinding. But if it starts to push above 60 on the hourly chart, then maybe there is something more to the upside in this rebound. These markets remain, I think, pretty volatile in terms of the daily ranges that they're seeing, and certainly it doesn't look as though that's letting up anytime soon. Anyway, I wish you good luck in your trading on FTSE today, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.